What is going on, trading world? Welcome back to another episode of Free Education Mondays. This is the second episode. In the first episode, we covered risk management. Today, this video is all about market structure. In some of the upcoming videos, we're gonna be going into scalping strategies and some advanced stuff, but none of that stuff's really gonna make sense to some of the people if you can't understand risk management, if you can't understand market structure. Now, personally for me, I was the type of person, man, with market structure, I struggled for the longest time. Like my first year of trading, I couldn't figure out market structure, all right? I bought like 3 courses at this point. I watched all the videos about market structure. For some reason, I couldn't figure out like what was a break of market structure, okay? I couldn't figure it out on different time frames. So that is something I wanna take a deep dive into today. We're gonna go into market structure, how I perceive it, what's a market structure break, and we're gonna look at it on different time frames and how you can use it. Now, this video is for anybody who's struggling to understand market structure on a deeper level, all right? From the basics to a much more deeper level on different time frames. If you're struggling like I struggled for the first year, I couldn't understand it, man, until I remember I watched one video where somebody broke it down in a very easy way for me to understand, and that was like the click. Like as soon as I saw that video, I was like, all right, now I understand. So I understand that there's a lot of videos on market structure. You've probably already seen a lot, you may even know about it, but this is for people that are kind of struggling, and this is going to be part of a bigger playlist that I'm creating. We're going to more advanced stuff. We're going to go into scalping strategies, fib strategies, different things. But if you want to learn my main strategy, the one that I use every single day, be part of the LP trading community, the link is in the description below. So let's just get into the video, man. Let's jump in, and this is going to be like sort of like a full mini course on market. Get started, everyone. So this video, I'm going to try to cover as much of market structure as I possibly can from the way that I understand it and the way that I use it. Excuse me if I miss anything, but this is something I struggled with a lot, man, when I first started trading, especially the first year. I couldn't really get a grasp of what a break of market structure was. When you'll probably see on Instagram people are writing, BOS, basically meaning break of structure. But understanding that on a deeper level, it took for some reason it took me a while to really grasp onto this. So I got something designed out here. Don't get too worried if you don't understand what's going on here, but let me explain what market structure is. First thing, I hope you guys know what a trending market is, right? Majority of you guys probably do, and for the people that are kind of new to trading, this is going to kind of help you out a little bit more. And then we'll go into different time frames of market structure, what a break of market structure is, things that I look out for, how to spot reversals, and things like that. So before we even get into this, right, let's just jump into what is a trending market, right? A trending market is when we make, a trending market would be on whatever time frame that you're looking at. We if it's an uptrend, we make a high, we make a higher low, we make a high again, we make a higher low, we make a high, we make a higher low, and then the market will just continue going like this when we're in an uptrend. When we're in a downtrend, it'll be the exact opposite of this. It'll be like this. Horrible drawing, but you get the point, right? The structure, and then how does structure come into this? Okay, we'll also take a look into that. So this is just quickly, I'm sure I'll make a video about trending markets later, but I'm pretty sure at least this much at this point, in terms of a trending market, because then that's when you can start looking at structure and taking advantage of structure with your strategy. I don't know, whatever strategy you're using. The first strategy I had was support and resistance, all right? But I didn't know how to use market structure, so it never worked for me. The second strategy I used was a fib strategy, and it was all based on market structure. So I had to learn, market structure, and once I learned that, I was like, this is crazy, because it really levels up your trading. So whether you're using fibs, key levels, supply and demand, that's what we trade at at Trading LP. Market structure, you're gonna need at some point. Market structure is king. That's what they always say, and I couldn't agree anymore. All right, so let's just quickly take a look at this this drawing that I drew, and then we're gonna go into the actual charts and identify where we can look at market structure. Let's just look at what market structure is, and then we'll look at market structure break, and then we'll look at it on different time frames and how you can utilize that. All right, so in this case here, it's an uptrend. So we're making a high, basically a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay. What I used to get confused about was like, oh, it looks so pretty here, but when I'm looking at it here, like I can't decipher that. Like, I don't understand. So that's kind of like where I used to get confused a lot. But now, you know, we'll kind of go into why I was getting confused, right? And how, if you may be in the same boat, you know, you can kind of get around that. So, right here in this example, right, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So anytime, so this is structure, right? Anytime we make a higher high, that's like this is structure. So anywhere there's a structure, I'm probably gonna try to put an X. All right. And then anytime we make a higher low, that's structure. That just got put in this X right here. Okay. And then this higher high is also structure. Anytime that the market is, you know, it did a pullback, it made a higher high, did a pullback, and then now it's continuing, like it's breaking this line, this higher high. Two things have just occurred. Number one, we made a higher low. That's for sure right here. So this would have been a great place to take a trade. And then anytime we're crossing this is where people will, you know, typically write BOS, basically saying break of structure. This is break of structure to the upside. This is break of structure to the upside. So if you're trying to find a long on, let's say, you know, some on this pair, this is good news for you, because you know that we put a higher high, we made a higher low. Now we just broke market structure to the upside, and now you can capitalize on taking the next trade by catching that higher low, you know, by whatever means you're trading. It could be support and resistance. You could find a supply and demand level here, a support level here. You know, you could probably plot on a fib and take that off one of the fib levels with other confluences, things like that. You know, you could have like an EMA running through this area. So this will confirm, market structure break will confirm that, you know, the trend is continuing. The market wants to continue to push up, you know, so you can feel more confident in trying to take that long position here, right? But if the market could also be potentially just ranging, right? You could just be in a ranging market, and then eventually it breaks, right? Breaking all of this is still structure. This is still structure. These are equal highs, but it's still considered structure. The lows are still considered structure. Once we break all of these areas, and I'll put X's here, this is the break of market structure to the upside. You can now potentially catch the reversal somewhere here, right? So it just gives you that confirmation, like, okay, the market has broken structure to the upside. I can continue to now look for a long. Now, that's the bullish scenario, right? On the way down, because eventually, you know, the market moves in cycles, so it will go up, but it's not going to go up forever, right? It's not going to go up forever. It always does a reversal, you know. Even with the indices, you know, we will still break market structure to the downside. Even in the grand scheme of things, we're going up, but so on the way down, right? You can take a trade even on a equal level of market structure. So if the market structure broke to the upside, like here, for example, and it pulls back to that higher low structure, you can still take a trade from this area, right? You can still take a trade to the upside now. But when can we confirm that we're going down, right? Like somebody like me, I love taking shorts. All right, I've started to go long now, but for the last 4 or 5 months, all I did was take shorts. All I did was wait for the market. You know, if the market was pushing up, and I knew we were in an uptrend and we were making higher highs, higher lows, I would just wait it out. I would jump onto a different pair and I'd come back until this occurred. Because when this occurs, especially the strategy that we trade, the way that I trade, and the way that we trade in our Discord, in my community, this is like a golden opportunity for us. Like, this is what I'm looking for, man. especially to the downside, right? So eventually the market will make a higher high, and that's going to be like your top. All right. That's going to be like, eventually it'll reach a point of where it needs to come down from. So this wouldn't be really considered a lower low. So I'm going to remove that. This would be just considered an equal high, right? And then eventually the market will push up. We don't know if it's reversed at this point, right? Because it could just keep going up. But if it stops here, if the market stops here, all right, and we're anticipating, all right, we reached a major level here. My anticipation is that we're gonna reverse. We don't trade reversals, right? I did that for a long time. I tried to trade reversals all the time, man, and I would get blasted. So I don't do that no more, and I don't teach that anymore either. We only take reversals when it's confirmed. How do you confirm it? Here's how do you confirm it, okay? When the market makes a higher low, which could be this, right? A higher low or equal high, and then it will make a lower high. We don't know this is a lower high until this level of structure is broken to the downside. Right there, you see where that's why I threw that tool on there to show that this impulsive leg pushed down and took out this structure. All right, the fact that we took this structure out, I can now consider this a lower high, and then eventually if we break it, we'll stop somewhere, and that can be considered our lower low. Now it's my job to catch this lower high. Where this can be, this could be your resistance zone, this could be your supply zone, this could be your a key level for you, this could be a fib level for you, for people that trade fibs, things like that. And you'll have, and your EMA, if you're using an EMA, will be pushing to the downside as well. So anytime the market is breaking structure, it's gonna look like this. All right, so we're gonna go to the charts and see what that looks like. Now, I pay attention to market structure on all time frames, but the most important ones that you want to look for reversals is probably gonna be the daily and the 4 hour, to look to see like, okay, the market is for sure reversing, and then you can go into the lower time frames to get your entries, get your trades, things like that. Once you've seen this happen, right, this market structure was broken, this is where scalpers will go in and look for quick shorts, things like that. So let's go up to and actually look at it in real time, right? Like, so this is AU right now, and you can see, so it's not always going to look as pretty as this, right? It's going to take some getting used to of looking at the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. All right, so right here, right, like this was a high, this was a higher low, this was a high, this was kind of like an equal high, but we didn't break any market structure to the downside. We still haven't broken structure to the downside. So this is a perfect example of market structure to the upside. Okay, and we can probably anticipate, as long as the market's not reversing, that we're gonna probably, from this area, you could potentially take a trade to the upside, right? And as long as we don't take out this structure right here, the market structure has not broken. And if we want to look at this to the other way around, let's get a good example here. Okay. All right, let's look at this 4 hour time frame. This is all structure. So let me just plot out areas that I think are, and you can always go down to your lower time frames, and it's gonna look a bit much more clearer. And another great way to look at this, a little hack, is you can always use the line tool. All right, the line tool will always show you where there's structure. So let's lower the time frames down a little bit, going down to 2 hour, 1 hour, whatever. That structure, right, that's a higher low. These areas, higher low, right, higher low. So as you can see, the market is pushing up and there's lots of opportunities to go along in this area, and then we see an area of stall. This is where we're anticipating, hey, this might be the area that the market is now going to reverse from, but we don't know until, for me, I see two areas of market structure. This is a really important one right here, and I can anticipate this one as well. So going back to the charts, this is the structure being put up to the upside. You can see it stall, but we're not taking a trade. I don't take a trade here because sometimes the market will spike up. If too many people are going short, the market will continue. This is just consolidation. We don't have a confirmation yet. Your confirmation is this leg that broke market structure here. This is key market structure right here. As you can see, this impulse broke it, all right? But if you want to look at a very clear area of market structure, for me, that would be this. Let me draw it out here. This area right here. See this double bottom? That's a key area of market structure. And we took it out pretty much right there. All right. There we go. So we can write, you'll see people on IG writing BOS over here, right? BOS. There's no real reason for you to write it out, but sometimes I guess it does help, right? As you can see, this was the area of structure. This leg broke it. This is the leg that broke it. So when we pull back, we can confirm that this is a lower high over here. Now I can try to say, okay, now it's time for me to start looking for shorts. I can start going into my lower time frames, and I can start looking for shorts because look what's happening here. Now we're starting to put in structure to the downside, right? Just like the way we drew it out. It's not looking as clean, but this is still what's basically happening, right? And so market structure is being broken every single time. This is structure right here. This impulse took this out, so we broke structure to the downside again. Looking for a trade opportunity, and I have the 50 EMA plotted on there. As you can see how clean it's staying below the 50 here. And you can do things like you could draw potentially the supply area here and take a trade off that. So many trading opportunities. I'm sure there's probably a fib you could draw on this here as well, right there, 60, 62, 61.8. So many trading opportunities are presented to you when you actually understand market structure. If you've stayed this far into the video, man, leave me a comment. Let me know if you understood what I was trying to talk about here. And, I might make a part 2 to this series to explain it a bit better and potentially show any current trades that I've taken, using market structure. I should have used an example. But I hope you guys understood that, because when you understand market structure like this, and it starts becoming very, very clear, right? You can start using this on the hourly time frame. I even look at market structure on the 5-minute time frame for my entries. Okay, so if let's say this area is a key area for me that I want to take a trade on, let's just jump onto here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can go all the way back to 15 minutes. Because if I have a key supply area drawn, or you can have a key resistance area drawn, you can use the lower time frames to look at structure. Okay, let's look at this. Is structure right here. This is structure right here. This is structure right here. This is on the lower time frames, right? There you go, on the line chart. And then if this is a resistance zone that I've drawn, or a supply zone, a key level, whatever, and you're anticipating a reversal from here, instead of guessing it, why don't I wait for these structures to get taken out, right? And I can see that happen with this leg here. We took this structure out. Especially when we take this structure out, I'm entering, right away. But even these structures being broken right here, when this leg breaks this and this, you can catch the pullback. So simple, man. This is what we teach. This would be like a supply area, easy trade. This would have been an amazing trade to catch right here, right? You already know market structure has broken. You have a supply area. If you're a support and resistance trader, you know, you can find, you could probably, there you go. Okay, so this was support, turn into resistance, boom, whatever way you want to trade it, and you know, you can hold it down to wherever. So yeah, once you understand market structure is king, and once you understand it to a good level, man, you get presented with so many good trading opportunities. It's all about staying patient. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna have a lot more crazy content coming on Free Education Mondays with scalping strategies, different techniques, liquidity, all that good stuff. Please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button. It definitely helps out the channel, and I will see you later.